You can't come to me about God if your life does not reflect God.
Right.
I don't see love in you.
Right.
Your life isn't fruitful to me. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're sick and you're not dependent on God. You're dependent on a check or medicine, or you don't know how to uplift somebody, or you feel like you're better than somebody because you have God. Trying to heal in the environment that hurts you, it's not going to happen.
They mistake what they're doing for who they are. Okay, somebody's drinking alcohol and they're abusing alcohol. They call themselves an alcoholic. Okay, that is not the truth. You are not an alcoholic. You're just abusing alcohol. Okay, there's a difference between being an alcoholic and abusing alcohol. If you consider yourself alcoholic, you claim to be an alcoholic, then that's exactly what you'll be. Okay, and I believe in the power of the tongue. I believe in speaking things and it being so, right? Just because we're created in the image of God and that's how God created everything, He spoke things into existence. Okay, so we're not able to necessarily speak things into existence, but our words do have power, right? And when we speak, we tend to influence our mind, and that influences our behavior, which then causes us to do things that align with what we spoke about.
From a young age, like being with my mom, and it being extremely toxic because she was a drug addict, that made me have a distaste for drugs. Like, I don't want to experience drugs or anything like that if that's the outcome of it, because I see what it does to your body. I see how it makes you react. I see how you're just completely unaware. So I think literally every stage of my life, I took the bad and made mental notes in my head for like my life and like goals that I had for myself. That's like, okay, I don't want to be a drug addict. You have to understand, like, if you are going to, like, you know, drink or whatever it is that you want to do, it has to be done in moderation, and you have to know how to quit.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be so consumed by something to where it turn that drug or whatever it is turns into your identity. So at a young age, I would say like really like 8, 9, I understood self-identity, because I understood what drugs and being around toxic environment could do to yourself. Like I recognized myself as of when I was with my mom to when I was in foster care. When I got taken out of a toxic situation and put in foster care, and it wasn't a toxic situation necessarily, I didn't know what that looked like. Like I didn't, because I'm like, I'm going to bed and it's quiet. I would have to have some type of chaos going on, because it's like
too quiet in here.
At nighttime, yes, at nighttime, like with my mom in that toxic environment, it was always loud. It was always something going on, something tragic or traumatizing happened at nighttime. To where I crossed over to a point to where I'm not in a toxic household anymore. I did not know how to function. Like my identity, I had to go through a shift and a change, because that's no longer the environment that you're in. So at a young age, I noticed that, to, you know, my dad getting custody of me and him growing up a certain way, me growing up a certain way, me not knowing him for 10 years of my life, and colliding with somebody that says, I love you, as a kid at 10 years old. Okay, why weren't you there?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So the next thing was like, if someone loves me, they need to show me that they love me, and I need to see that. I need to feel that.
That makes sense.
Every phase in my life, I was carving out like, okay, I had to grow up, and I had to decide not to be like the environment that I grew up in, or the environment or the situation that I was put in, because I seen that it didn't, like, it was just I was surrounded by a bunch of either bitter, toxic people or self-righteous and vindictive people. So out of those circumstances, looking at, you know, family members and friends, I want to say friends, I would say family members, because that's who raised me. Seeing those people in my life and seeing their life, you can't come to me about God if your life does not reflect God. Right. I don't see love in you. Right. Your life isn't fruitful to me. Like you're sick and you're not dependent on God. You're dependent on a check or medicine, or you don't know how to uplift somebody, or you feel like you're better than somebody because you have God. I just seen it from literally so many different perspectives that growing up, I literally had to pull and take in and adapt to every situation that I was put in and literally take the best out of it and make the conscious decision. I always said that. Like, I can't wait to get grown. I can't wait to get out of the house. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. The difference between, other people, I actually did it. I got out the house and I completely, I never forget all those things that I've been through, because I understand that it's like, that is what kept them how they were. Because of, like you said, the decisions that they made, the way that they operate, really just the pridefulness of not wanting to change what they saw and what they learned growing up. That's the biggest thing as adults. Right. Yeah, you either, as an adult, like I said, I love my parents to death, but it's just, there's certain ways that they have that does not align with my spirit, does not align with what the vision that God has told me for my family. And many people, especially, the older generation, they look at it like, oh, they disrespectful. I could never not talk to my parents. I could never not do this. I could never not do that. Right. And that's the reason why you are how you are, and you're not truly free. I'm speaking from a place of dealing with that for years. It took me years to be like, okay, family, blood, whoever you is, I don't care who you are. If God told me to cut you off, you're getting cut off. God tells me no, I'm not doing it. And it's as simple as that, because I understand that trying to heal in the environment that hurts you, it's not going to happen. It ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. I had to be in a place of complete shut off. I didn't have no contact with them at all. Your phone is famous for bringing up memories day to day, like daily, weekly memories popping up. I could not mumble a word. I could not say anything. And I never came out and really talked about it, but at those tears still come, but it's for the greater good. I have a peace of mind. I've actually healed. I've actually healed. Could sit down and have a conversation with you and not shed one tear. You know what I'm saying? Because I've healed and I've grown from that pace, and I let go because God was able to heal me and shape and mold me, because I took myself out of the environment, or I closed out, Like I told you, I started getting plenty of phone calls from all these relatives that I never speak to, that I not necessarily I don't speak to because, oh, they're not nothing, or it's because I just don't have a relationship with you. Right. I don't have a relationship with a lot of them. Telling me, oh, you need to do this, you need to make sure you do this. And God is like, no. You have, no. Defying the odds and going against what traditionally is not done, or what somebody could never do. I know you could never do it. That's why you haven't did it, and you're bitter and you're angry and you're walking in unforgiveness, and it comes out in spurts. It comes out in little bitty, just random, things, because you haven't been put in a place, or you haven't been put in a position to where you have to set those goals for yourself, and you have to actually walk in it. Yeah. I've always said it out my mouth, but I wasn't walking in it when I, about, to try to rekindle that situation after I graduated and I had my own car and my own living situation. I still went back because that's what's right to do. Right. Because, they were, growing with you. And I understand that, especially as a parent. I understand that you're not perfect. You're going to make mistakes. And that sometimes your mistakes, that bleeds off onto your kids. But to be able to accept that responsibility and to just accept accountability of you did that, and it hurt your child in the midst of it, it matters. So even even though for a long time I struggled with trying to let it go, and I would compromise, like you saw it, compromise who I am, completely like go back to this little bitty girl to try to satisfy and please every ounce of everybody else, I was killing myself. I was literally killing myself.
Yeah.
What do you feel like? When do you feel like you made that like executive decision? Like, okay, this is the goal for my family, or
When I was a kid. When I
yeah,
was a kid, like I said, like since a kid, like since I don't necessarily, I can't pinpoint an age, but since I was consciously thinking about what I wanted to do with my life, like yeah, I was making those decisions. See, I was the youngest child. Still, I guess I am the youngest child. I'm the youngest child, so I was able to learn from my siblings' mistakes, and I was just able to make different decisions. Like, I was able to maneuver in a way that allowed me to, I guess, create this kind of bubble around myself and protect my energy and my peace and what it is that I wanted for my life. That was protected by me, um, because I just didn't allow certain things to be around me. I didn't allow certain environments, to influence me. I didn't put myself in situations where, you know, it would be detrimental to my future. Like I just didn't do it. Like I moved, I don't know, I had disciplined movement, and I didn't really consider myself that disciplined when I was younger, but a lot of my decisions were from a place of discipline. Like, listen, I can't hang out with these people, because if I do, they doing stuff that if I got caught doing, I won't be here for a long time, right? Like I can't be around those people. Like I was always a leader from a young age. Like I did things that other people did just because other people did them, and that's what followers do. But ultimately, I was like the go-to. People would come to me for advice. People would come to me, to when it came to money. Like people would come to me. Like I was the go-to. So I was considered the leader in my group, and still to this day, like I'm the leader, right? So that being said, I knew what I didn't want, and I think if you know what you don't want,
that's the biggest thing.
yeah, if you know what you don't want your life to look like, you just look at all the people that have the life that you don't want to have, and you do the opposite of what they do.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean that's the best advice you can get when it comes to designing the life that you want. Like let's have this conversation about the 40-40-40 plan. Okay, you go to school, you get good grades, you get a good job, you work for 40 years to retire on 40% of what you were making in your working years, right? And it's just, listen, that dog doesn't hunt, okay? It may have hunted at one point. Actually, it did hunt at one point. In maybe the 70s, the 60s, the 50s, like when you worked at the plant, right? And you were a regular worker, um, the job or the factory would pay you to go to school to get a degree, and then you can go into management and you can manage all the people, right? That's how it was back in the day. Okay, and you can make more money, right? Provide a better living for your family. Well, since our parents and our loved ones and our grandparents and their parents, right, kind of experience that, they think that that's still the same way the world is today. That if you go to school and you go back to the plant or you go back to your job with a degree and you tell them, hey, I went to school, that they're just going to pay you more money and you're going to live a better life. That's not how it is. Okay, we live in a different world today. Today, it's not about your degree. Okay, you can get 30 degrees. I don't care what kind of degree you got. It's not about your degree. It's your emotional intelligence. It's how you respond to setbacks. It's your skill sets, right? What skill sets do you have? Do you know how to communicate? Do you know how to sell? Like it's the skills that are gonna help you advance in life. Okay? It's not the degrees. It's not the plan that the world has for you, which is go to school, get good grades, get a good job, right, and work for 40 years. Okay, that plan isn't going to work. Okay, you got to create a vision for your life, and then you gotta improve yourself. Okay, you said something, babe, that's extremely important, and I wanted to highlight it. You said pride, right? Some people refuse to change, even knowing that they need to change because of pride.
Right.
Because if you know that you need to change and you don't change, obviously that's pride, right? You're aware of what you're doing that's not helping you and you're not changing it, even though you need to change it. It's pride, right?
That's just how I am.
Yeah, this is just how I am, right? You're accepting of your false self. No, that's not how you are, right? That's how you're acting. Okay? A lot of people mistake their I guess they mistake their, how do I want to put this? So that being said, what was I talking about?
The power of your words.
Yeah, the power of your words. No, but before that.
Pride.
I got lost in the sauce. So yes, pride comes before the fall. Okay, J. Cole has a song called "Pride Is the Devil," which is 100% true. If you know that you need to change some things about yourself and you're not changing it because you're just too prideful, because that means that you have to accept the fact that you're limited in a certain area, right? That you have some flaws about yourself. If you're not willing to do that, you're not willing to improve, you're not willing to change, you're not willing to grow, then your life is going to be the same forever.
Yeah.
Right?
And most of the time when people say that, like when people say like, oh, well, that's just how I am, or that's just, the way that I am, that's just how I do things. You notice people only say that when they're being addressed about how they act, like how you're acting. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, like, wow, like you're so negative. Like, well, that's just the way I am. Well, that's just not a good way to be negative.
Exactly. Change it.
It's like like I said, like, certain people will literally nitpick at, like, there's people that whatever you do, even if you're the most positive, happy person in the world, like, I had someone tell me, like, why do you be smiling? Like, why are you smiling so much? Because why not? Me not smiling is not going to change the situation. The situation is what it is.
Right.
Like, that's why when, that crossover happened and, the DM that I have now came to the store, and her first 4 days that she had been there, the store had completely lost power. She was completely, like, I won her over from that. She was completely bamboozled at how I was still laughing and smiling and getting stuff done.
Can't understand it.
In that type of situation, because anybody else would have been like, oh, you need to come, like, spazzing on her, just spazzing on people, because that's a tough situation to try to save your entire store inventory, like cold inventory. It's a big deal. Like, it's a big, big, big deal. And I'm like, she was like, do you need so-and-so to come? No, we good. I got it. I got people here. We're going to get it done. You just tell me what I need to do. And I'm cheesing it. She was just so confused by it. But it humbled her, because it's just like, I'm not changing who I am, or I'm not changing my mood because that's how you are. Like, the way that she may have attacked that situation is completely different from how I would have.
Right.
But the way I do it produces different results, to where it's like, people respect it. Like, I'm right there in the trenches with you. But someone on the opposite side, like, here, like, dang, you always getting mad. Like, you always getting mad. Like, I take that to heart, because I understood where I've came from actually being angry and mad. So it's certain things that I feel like people take offense to, but at the same time, that's a part of who I am.
Yeah.
It's a difference between that's my pride and don't want to change it, to that is who I am now, because it was a point to where I was mute.
Yeah.
I didn't speak how I felt. I held everything in. And that one person that tried me, they were getting an unleash from everything that everybody else done to me. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, with the whole pride situation, I feel like you have to listen to what people say, but sometimes people just be talking because they're in a negative headspace.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the man that you had that argument about with God, telling you that he's God.
Yeah.
And that you need to follow him. Yeah. Sir, that is your pride. Are you dumb? Are you dumb? Literally.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You're not God. And for you to try to sit up here and convince somebody that they need to follow you because you God, sir, no.
Yeah, that's crazy. Believe it or not, I did have somebody try to sell me on the fact that there was God, and he thought he had me. I don't know why you thought that.
That's the biggest thing. I don't know why you thought that was a
I don't
good
know why
idea.
you thought that, but yeah. So it's crazy people in the world. But listen, the scripture tells us that it says, "Be in this world, but not of this world." Right? Mm-hmm. And the children of God are in this world, but not of this world. Right? And the children of God are the ones that that walk in that light. Right? They walk in that light and they abide by the principles and the laws, and they understand how the world works, mm-hmm. and they understand that um, the most valuable thing ultimately is your relationships with people, right? It's your relationships with God, your relationship with yourself, and your relationships with others, right? I mean, that's where the true value, the true wealth is. It's in the relationship. So when you have a good relationship with your creator, and you understand the principles and the precepts that have been established, and then you have a good relationship with yourself, right? You love yourself enough to discipline yourself to do the things that you need to do. Then you'll ultimately have a great relationship with others, because you'll feel good about yourself and you'll want for your brother or sister what you want for yourself. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's that's just what it is. So yeah, so I think that I think that a lot of people are going to misunderstand those individuals that do have a vision for their life. They're going to misunderstand those those children of God, so to speak. Right? They're going to misunderstand us, because the way we operate and the way we respond to adversity and difficult situations, the world can't understand that. Right? They can't understand how you could be facing these giants and you want to attack the giant when others are running away. Right? Mm-hmm. They can't understand that. They can't understand how you can go through setback after setback after setback and still get up with a smile on your face, right? And not treat anybody else less than, right? And not lose confidence, not look down on yourself or look down on others, right? The world can't understand that, right? The world can't understand, a woman that goes through so much emotional abuse, right? Whether it be with her partner or her friends or just the world in general, because the world treats women very unfairly, right? The world can't understand how a woman can go through all that and still conquer, right? Still come out on top. They can't understand it. Why? Because listen, it says in the scripture, the world knew him not, right? And the same thing holds true for us. The world's not going to know us because they knew him not, right? And that's where that's the lineage that we come from. Okay, so you can't get caught up in what other people think about you or what they say about you, or them not understanding your vision and what you have going on in your life, and how you go about your day, and you're so focused, you're so disciplined, you're always working, all you think about is money. Like, you can't get caught up in none of that, because if you do, you're going to get lost in the sauce. Mm-hmm. Right? And you're going to be just like everybody else. You got to stay focused, you got to stay on your path, and you got to continue to do what you need to do to get to where you're trying to get to. You know what I mean? And all these things that I'm saying to y'all, I'm also saying to myself, right? Like, it's listen, I'm speaking to everybody here, including myself. Mm-hmm. All right. Like, these are words that need to be internalized from me, and they also need to be internalized by you if you're the type of person that has that vision. And if you're not a person that has a vision for your life, create one, right? Just think about what it is that you want out of your life or what you don't want, and then look at the people that set that example and do the opposite. Mm-hmm. Right? Or look at the people that are setting the example of what you do want and then do what they do. Right? I mean, it's very simple. Life is what you make it. Right? Who has that? Is it Hannah Montana that has that song? Miley Cyrus. Yeah. It's life's what you make it, so let's make it right. Life's what you make it, so let's make it right. Wait. So that's life's what you make it. Okay,
I'm like, wait, we're singing two different songs.
So you can create and design the life that you want, but you got to be intentional about it, right? And I speak so much about intention because, like, intention is the mother of all, creation. It's the mother of all growth. It's the mother of all progress. You got to be intentional. Mm-hmm. So we want to encourage people to create a vision for their life. Right? Or the ones that already have a vision for their life, just continue the course, stay the course, right? It don't matter how many times you get knocked down, just keep going, right? Because ultimately it's going to happen for you if you keep going, right? And what I would strongly encourage is to stay in close proximity with people that are vibrating at the same frequency as you. Okay? People that want what you want, that are going where you're going, that think like you think, that talk like you talk. Those are the people that you need to surround yourself with. You don't need to surround yourself with people that are going in the opposite direction of you, because all that's going to do is pull you back, right? You know, if you're hanging around individuals that are negative, that are pessimistic, that have no goals, have no dreams, all they do is kick it all day, I mean, you're going to end up like them, more than likely. They're not going to come up to your level. Chances are you're going to stoop down to their level. Why? Because negativity is a powerful force, right? And if you have more negativity than you have positivity, meaning you're around a group of people that are negative and you're the only positive one, that negativity is gonna pull you down, right? And you're gonna end up just like them. Okay, so you got to stay in close proximity with people that are like you, that think like you, and that want the things that you want. Okay, and if you do that, the chances of your success increases drastically. Okay, so you got any last words, sweetheart?
Get out your pride. Get out your pride. Be mindful of things that people tell you, because sometimes a lot of the times, God uses other people to bring something out in you that you didn't know that necessarily was in you, as well as just work on yourself. Don't be in your pride.
That's key right there. Really work on you.
What I took from this entire podcast is setting goals, having a vision for your life. It matters, but don't get so stubborn minded, so hard headed, so goal oriented that you don't know how to live life. You're missing out on life. There's people that I always refer back to school, because I just feel like it's an example that everyone can relate to. You are in school for 10, 15 years. You don't go out. Your family never sees you. You don't spend time with the people that you love. You graduate, people that you love, they're probably not going to be there because you didn't, ruin this relationship, because you're so focused on a goal that you forget that life is full of balance. And also sometimes it is a matter of going with the flow. But have a vision, have a goal for your life, in the aspect of you're just not waking up every day, woe is me, and just like whatever life gives me, I'm gonna take. You have that mentality, you're 10 times out of 10 not 10 times. You are not successful. Like whatever you're producing, whatever you're doing is not producing any type of good fruit. And that's what I had to say.
We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We hope that these words encourage you, they uplift you, right? You don't put us on a pedestal and think that we got everything, perfectly together. Okay, I want to make that very clear. We're human. We're humans just like y'all. We make mistakes every single day. But there's information that we learn, and we do work on ourselves, and we want to communicate what we learned and what we've applied ourselves, and what we feel is helpful for others. We want to communicate that. And if we're able to help one person from one of our podcast episodes, I mean, that's more than enough. What I mean? Having that influence on somebody's life. So we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. And we'll see y'all next week. Let love fill your hearts, family.
Peace and blessings. Bye.